Out of all the plants that I've imported from Asia, this is definitely the worst experience that I've ever had. I met a Thai plant seller at IAS in Florida last year in 2023. We hit it off. He had a lot of really cool plants at the show, and the prices were quite good. So after I made that infamous video that a lot of people were pissed off about that said importing plants is over, like the flip is over, I went against my gut instinct and went with some of the comments and was like, you know, f it. I'll do one last import to see how the prices are, to see how the quality is. So this IS seller sent me a bunch of these photos that you see here on the screen. I got a bunch of albos, aureas, epi, giganteums, some syngonium orm nagpum, and this was the invoice. You can see all the line items for the different unit prices. I'm going to give you guys all of the prices that I actually paid. Green Congos, 30 bucks, syngoniums, 20, albos were 45, aureas were 60, that hurts. Giganteums were 105, that sucked. Orange Princess 90, that also sucked. I sold all these plants for under what I paid. Burley Marks Flames were 35, which was a good price. We'll see. Adansonii were 35, and those actually shipped well. And then the Syndapsis were 35 and 44, not a great price, and you'll see why that also sucks. So I sent this dude 500 bucks. And I was really stoked because the Burley Marks Flames looked really healthy. They were good size. They were past that valley of death size for tissue culture, and they looked like they would have adequate roots. But here on the screen, this is what I received. A lot of the plants had rot. A lot of the albos, that's the video you can see there, had just tons of root rot. And that's oftentimes from over packaging with too much condensation. You can see on this Burley Marks Flame here, there's like condensation inside of the bag. And that's what typically leads to rot. And look at the stem of that plant, fully blackened, just dead. And on this aurea, I mean, I think I ordered 10 of them and it's over 2 months later. And I think I've sold like 2 or 3 of them, but I was really chill with the guy. I figured he would replace most of these plants, so I wasn't really sweating him for the albo rot. I do propagate monsteras pretty well, so I wasn't too worried about it, but they were mostly rotted off. And I messaged in that video and I said that you could see the albo leaves yellowing from the rot, and that it was from compacting those roots too much. When I typically import from Japan, I don't have that problem with monsteras, but I needed just a small order and I wanted to try again, and I went against my best judgment, and I was being chill as I opened the box, and I mentioned that I lost an aurea so far. I would just update him on DM, aurea, albo. He actually never sent the Syndapsis because they weren't available. I think he sent 1 or 2 jade satins, which I believe I ordered only a couple of those, and they looked like crap, to be honest. And I said 2 satin Syndapsis received without roots. And he just kind of like, I don't want to say gaslights me, but is just like, oh yeah, just trim the roots off and you can propagate them. Use sphagnum moss for rooting. I'm trying to be chill. I'm trying to develop a longer term relationship with this dude. So at this point, I've lost a few albos, a few aureas. The Syndapsis never sent. I think I got 2 of 6. And I lost a Burley Marks Flame. And the rest of them had semi-good roots to like mediocre roots. I'd say overall, like of all the imports I've ever received, this was on the lower end, maybe like a 5 out of 10, I would grade it. And they look so pretty before. It's so seductive to try and import plants. And the prices seem so good, right? So he's essentially like, order again from me, and in that order, I'll include your replacements. He said he'll send me the Syndapsis and the Burley Marks Flame that rotted out. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to get the Syndapsis since he owed me it. And then I'll just add on some Burley Marks Flame since those shipped pretty well. That was a mistake. So I sent him $275. I paid for the Burley Marks Flames for $175 total for the 5 units. And then I paid for shipping and Fido myself, which in hindsight, I was being too lenient. And I shouldn't have allowed that. I should have, forced for free shipping and just pay for the additional plants. I've learned that a lot of this stuff is really negotiable, especially with Asia. So I received a small box of replacements. I'm super stoked. I'm really optimistic. I'm like, all right, if this goes well, like bygones be bygones. So I opened up the box. I have it on camera for YouTube to talk about acclimating imports, and I have to stop the entire video because this is what I received. So these were the results of the Burley Marks. That's 4 that pretty much have crappy roots. And then those 2 that I transplanted. On the Syndapsis, looks like we got 1 with pretty good roots, 1 transplanted. That means it had good roots. So I'll pot this one up. And then crappy Epiprenum giganteum marble with some rot. And yeah, that's the total import. That's why I am over importing, because of 11 plants, 4 were good. Essentially, that was the outcome. I ordered 10. I think he shipped 11 plants, maybe 1 freebie, but it had rot anyways. There's the 4 Burley Marks on the side that were just fully rotted out. They were fully blackened, just like the other ones he had sent. They had too much moisture in that sphagnum moss. I'm telling people from Asia, the best way to ship plants is actually to cut them, to leave them to callus, especially Monstera, and allow the roots to actually just dry out, because that's better than these blackened off rot. I can propagate a plant that's been sitting out drying in the air for 5 days or even a week, but not when it just kills off the whole stem. And the Syndapsis that were supposed to be replacements, like, weren't even... I have a couple Burley Marks transplanted, and to me, those Syndapsis, they might prop out a little, but for like $30 or $40, the margin is just not there. And he never sent the replacements for the Albas or the Aureas, which again, I should have pushed harder on. That's on me to not, I guess, be like a tougher business person to ask for that, but he seemed to drive a tough bargain, and it gets worse when I DM him just to be like, yo, just send me a refund. I message him that same video, and I just say, please send me a refund, sad face. And he goes, hi, from the video, I noticed only 4 unpotted Burley Marks flames that seem not good. So the 4 ones that I cut the stem off because they were fully blackened. Also from our policy, I love when customer service says that. From our policy, we don't refund, but happy to send you a replacement. So you get into this like kind of evil cyclical, like you have to keep buying from them to keep getting your replacements. I actually had no choice but to get my replacements in the second batch because he didn't even send me my Syndapsis to start. Also, Fido and shipping fee will be handled by you. So again, I'm going to pay that $100 or $150 in shipping and Fido fees just to get my potentially rotted out Burley Marks flames again. And I was like, please send a refund. There was tons of rot. Now I'm getting frustrated. Now I'm getting angry because I feel like I'm getting swindled. I don't want to say scammed, but I feel like I'm getting swindled. And again, I tell them, you're packing in moss that's too damp. And then I even say, I'm not asking for a full refund. Wire me back 50%. So I sent these via wire transfer on Wise. I don't have any recourse. Bad on me. I should have sent it via PayPal, but I've been doing so many transactions that 5% fee that they throw on top of, call it $10,000 just starts to add up over time, and I trust a lot of these people. And I even say, send me back $138 and we'll call it quits. And then he goes back and forth with me and sends me back a screenshot of my video saying these ones with the roots are fine. But those were the ones he owed me anyways. And I am frustrated here, and I say, there are no roots. They're rotted. This is completely unacceptable. And it's the second set of plants that are coming from you that are rotted. And I paid $275 for the replacements, which saying all this back makes me feel pretty stupid. And he goes, I understand you're angry, but I'm afraid I can't offer you a refund. Our policy is clear on this. We're happy to replace the plants. And if you want to avoid the shipping fee, you can collect them at the show. He means IAS in Miami. Or offer a store credit. Again, you're in this cycle of repeatedly spending money with them. This would be the 3rd time, and that would be shame on me to do this again. If you prefer to decline this offer, I'm afraid there's nothing else I can do. So I'm not going to out this dude in particular. I probably should, but I guess I'm not going to. The price parity between the US and Asia is so close, and I'll give you all of my prices that I paid. I definitely haven't got back I paid $3,500 on this one with wire transfer fees and exchange, then another $275. So I'm close to $4,000 out. And looking at all these plants, I have definitely not sold $4,000 of plants. And plants that are essentially the same price in both countries, the green Congo's pretty damn close. I'm selling those for like $80, I think, and I'm paying the shipping. And that shipping can be like 20 or $30. So green Congos, I wouldn't import. Syngoniums, I probably wouldn't import either. I'm selling them for $40. Monstera albos, a lot of those did not propagate. It just did not go too well. It's summer here and they got really hot and I got a lot more rot. These Oreas, I think I sold 3 of 10. Orange Princess, do not import at the large size. I sold those for under, I want to say I sold those for like 75 to 85 per plant. And Gigantium, oof. Yeah, I found these for under $100 or right around $100 domestically after I imported them. And I sold both of mine for right around 100, I believe. The Adansonii did well. The Adansonii of all of them did pretty well. And if I total up what I sold in Burley Marks, maybe break even. So with all that being said, just be really careful. The prices you're paying, who you're importing from, I guess read their policy or just get really clear on the replacements before you transact with them. And thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. It really means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys next week for another video about plants. Have a great day.